Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to your self-care me time. Really, just taking this time to simply be, to breathe, to move, to feel, to explore, and to play. It's great work. All right, so let your hands rest, palms up or palms down. Take a nice inhale, grow tall. Let's do this. Exhale this breath. And on your next inhale, take your shoulders right up to your ears. Get really, really long. And then take them back and just release them down your back, the height of your chest. Notice if, I know my habit is to always kind of push these bottom ribs forward. I'm just going to pull them in. And then close your eyes, let the chin bow. And settle into the sounds you hear. And settling in. Feeling any tension, any stress. And opening your heart to joy. And let this be a joy-filled hour we spend together. One more breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands together in front of your heart, bow your chin once again, just honoring all that is. And to that, we'll open class and chant Om 3 times. Inhale, nice and tall, lift your chin. Bowing your chin, release your hands to your thighs, lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay, yogis. So we'll start on our backs and have your bolster nearby, your blocks nearby, and feel free to put something underneath your head. Do you need that? Nice. I'll throw in a heating pad if you have one. I don't know if anybody else has adopted this new age way to practice, but I'm quite enjoying it. Okay, once you come down, just let your arms settle out to the sides. Your legs can be straight or bent. And just take a few breaths, just allowing yourself to settle to the floor. And this is such a, I remember when I was like 16 and my dad was probably like 50 something, and he started to have back issues, and he'd always be lying on the floor. The doctor said, lie on the floor. And even just starting this way of releasing yourself, you release yourself to your best alignment. So feel the right and the left shoulder. Just however they are, don't do anything to change it. Really notice, which one feels a little heavier. If you don't really feel much, open your arms out a little wider so that the shoulders are encouraged to the floor, and then just feel. And you might feel like you're very nicely balanced, and you might not, and you might know why, and you might not. Okay, so all we're going to do here, just how you are, lift your arms a little bit off the floor. We're going to open the hands nice and wide. We're going to turn the hands all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Feel the shoulders, what they do, and then turn your hands the opposite way, all the way, all the way, all the way. And just do that a few times. Keep the fingers spread and long. We're just turning the arms and rotating the shoulders. Okay, take one more of this. And then release your arms back down, and then just feel into the shoulders and notice if anything has changed. Good. Bring your hands together at your heart, interlace your fingers, flip your palms, press up to the sky. Let the arms extend, draw your belly in, your ribs in, and then start to take these arms over your head, wherever they're gonna go. Keep, pressing the palms away, take the bottom ribs in, get the arms come all the way overhead, maybe they settle on the floor. And then I'm gonna really grip the fingers on the backs of the hands and pull the arms apart. So the upper arms are almost, going away from each other. And then I'm going to bring these extended arms down. Like I want to bring the shoulders down. They're just moving, like they can press away and they can tuck in. Good. And then release backs of the hands to the floor. Spread your wings. So draw this little rainbow arch from your head back out to the sides. Let the arms rest. Feel into your shoulders. Okay, if your legs are straight, bend them, and then bring the big toes to touch. Let's take the left knee into the chest. We'll interlace the fingers, and you can extend the right leg. You like that? We'll just hug it in and out. Just warming up your hip a little bit, and then rock this leg side to side. So not really rolling your body side to side, it's just this leg. And then bring it into center. Okay, you might keep the left hand on the left knee. Take the right hand right between thigh and belly and draw that belly over to the right. So you're kind of pressing down, making space. See if you can hug that left thigh in a little tighter. Then bring the right hand back. See if that shifted anything. Okay, now put your mind in your right leg. If it's extended or bent, whatever it is. Press through the foot, like as if you want that right leg to get longer. Drop your shoulders if you can. Take one more breath. Okay, the hands are interlaced. I'm just going to release this left leg, maybe straight out or bent. Reach the arms up to the sky. Extend the arms over your head. Lengthen the arms. Draw the bottom ribs in. Feel your heels. If your legs are stretched out, the backs of the heels center to the floor. One more breath. And then we're going to bring the right knee in. Change the interlace of your fingers along the way. And then once you get the right knee in, just rock it in and out. Good. And then we'll take it side to side a few times. Okay, I'm going to hug it in as tight as I can. So the right hand's going to stay where it is. The left hand is going to go right between belly and thigh. And see if I can press down and just move things over to the left and make some space for this thigh to come in. That might not even be happening, depending on where your thigh is in space. Just be with the experience. And then we're going to push through the left leg, through the foot. If I want to grow this left leg, drop your shoulders, your jaw, your breath. Okay, one more breath here. And again, we're just going to turn the palms, press up to the sky, extend this right leg, take the arms up and over, get long through the arms, through the legs, grow yourself taller. And then press the bottom ribs. I say bottom ribs, but it's maybe mid back. Just kind of feel where you can get more connection to the floor. And one more breath. Good. Okay, just for a moment, come back to the pseudo shavasana. Let the arms just rest. Let the feet flop and feel the shoulders. Feel yourself connected to the floor from the back of your head all the way. Good. One more breath. Good. Okay. I'm going to bring the left knee back in. We'll interlace the fingers. And I know not everyone was in class with us on Sunday, but we did this thing where we were moving the leg and you were moving it. Okay, actually, let's just go over that again. I'm going to backtrack. Both feet on the floor, heel toe your feet wider apart. And let's go to windshield wiper. Just go ahead and Move yourself side to side. Yeah. And now I want you to feel that the feet are going to do the action. So really put your mind in your feet and feel that the feet are lifting the legs up and rolling them side to side. Just work your feet. Okay. Now take that movement up to your knees. Feel that the knees are doing the lifting and dropping them over. You're just feeling like that is where the action is starting from, as best as you can. Don't worry if that's not really hitting. Okay, now we're going to move from the hips. So this is where things get interesting. So you're going to feel like the hips are lifting and the legs are just going along for the ride. You might feel like you're moving a little bit cat-cow. Maybe there's a circling action of the hips. Just be with this idea that the hips are moving. Okay, let's just play with that. Really feel that the hips are doing this action. It's like the strongest part of your body, right? You know, in the whole pelvic region, where the glutes are, the thighs are, you know, the strongest muscles. Okay, and then come back onto your back. Let's just rest for a moment so you can integrate and feel. Okay, so now I'm going to bring that left knee into the chest, and the right leg can be bent or extended, whichever one. Okay, now we're going to extend this left leg up. It could stay bent, you know that. I'm going to interlace the fingers behind the thigh. I'm going to press the thigh into the hands. That's going to bring the shoulders down a little bit. Press your shoulders towards the floor, even if they don't touch. So you're just opening up. Okay, you can add flexion to your foot. Keep your right leg maybe a little active. So when you're pushing through the four corners of the right foot, if that makes sense and is helpful. Okay, one more breath. Good. Okay, let's bend this left leg. So take the heel down, flex the foot, and now point the foot and extend it back up. And we'll just do that a few times. So we're just finding this little bit of, you know, I want to say gentle movement. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's a gentle movement. Okay, the next time the leg extends up, we're going to keep it there. I'm going to add a little bit of a point to the foot. So it's like a pointed foot with a flexed toe. Your knee can be bent. It's all fine. Release your arms. If it's straight, great. Okay, we're going to wave this leg side to side. And maybe it's just a little bit, you know, depending on how you're feeling. Okay, just move this leg. And now really make that movement from the hip so that you feel like, oh, you know, even if you soften your leg completely and it's bent and not active, the action is coming from the hip. So that left hip is moving the leg. Okay, it doesn't need to go all the way to one side. You might want to, but again, it's coming from the hip and you focus on that. Yes. Okay, we're gonna do one more little waving. And then we'll take that leg. I'm going to have it straight up to the sky. I'm pushing out through the four corners of the feet. Take the ribs in, the belly in. Lower your leg down. How slow can you go? You're moving through like thick molasses. And then once it touches, then again, just come back to your Pseudo Shavasana. And feel, you know, how things are already starting to shift. It's like magic time, you know, like let's create magic. It is. All right. You can take the right knee in. You can have the left leg bent or straight. Just hug it in for a moment. And then we'll stretch this leg up. I'm going to opposite interlace the fingers behind the center of the thigh, the belly of the thigh. Okay, leg bent or straight. You're pressing the thigh into the hands, and you're going to feel maybe your arms get a little longer. And I'm going to take these upper shoulders or the upper arms, anchor them towards the floor, even if they don't touch. Okay. Good. Flex your foot a little bit. Keep that engagement of the thigh to the hands. Good, good work. Good, good work. Very clearing for the low back. Okay, now as you exhale, bend the knee, take the heel down, flex the foot as you do that, and then point the foot as you extend it back up. Okay, I'm still keeping that engagement of the thigh to the hands. I mean, if I looked at my hands, they might be white knuckling. That's what's happening. Okay, take the leg up. I'm going to release the hands. Find your comfort place for your leg. I'm still really active through the left leg. I'm going to find the little joint here for my foot so everything's working. So you point the foot, flex the toes, and then start to wave this leg side to side, and you go in your own place. Generally, when we wave the leg, maybe you're doing it from your knee. Maybe you can feel that, or from the foot. And then just find that right hip. Can it do the work? So you're really like thinking in your body, how can I get this action to come from the hip? And you're moving that leg, you know, it could go really wide and it could be just a little bit. You're just trying to put your mind into your right hip. Let it do the work. The strongest place, maybe the weakest place. You know, so just find that. Find your joy in this movement. Okay, and then we'll take the leg up perpendicular. Find your strength through your legs. So it actually comes from the hips all the way from the legs to the feet. And then exhale, slowly lower this leg through this very thick, lovely molasses. And then once it comes down, let the feet flop and just feel for a moment what you've done. Good. Okay, I'm gonna bring the legs, my legs are straight out. I'm gonna bring them right together. You can have them bent, bring the feet together. Your left leg in, interlace your fingers, find this for a moment. Let's add a little bit of, external hip. So the left hand is gonna stay at the knee and the right hand's gonna slide down the shin, and it might go all the way down to the ankle, it might not, doesn't matter. Okay, bring the thumbs in line with your fingers. Pull this left heel over to the right and the left knee towards your left shoulder. Okay, and then just be with that. So at the same time as you're drawing this shin in opposite directions, you're also anchoring down. One more breath. Okay, release it. But, still keep the knee there. Don't let go. Just change your hand position. So the right hand comes up, maybe top of the shin, and the left hand moves down to the bottom. We're just going to go opposite way. I'm going to pull this left knee towards the right and the left heel towards the left. And at the same time, I'm also drawing it in. I'm going to smile. Find the joy here. Okay, one more instruction. Take your left outer hip and energetically draw it towards the back of your mat. So it's a lot happening. Okay, you're working. One more breath. Okay, release, Pseudo Shavasana. Just stretch it out. You need to windshield wiper, whatever you need to do. Feel, feel, feel. And then we'll do the right leg. So I'm going to bring the right knee, bring the legs right together first, then bring the right knee in. You can change the interlace, just hug it in for a moment. Let the shoulder tension release. Okay, right hand on right knee, left hand slides down the shin. So the right heel is aiming towards the left, maybe hip, and the right knee is aiming towards maybe the right shoulder, right upper arm. Pull it down at the same time as you're pulling it out. And again, I'm going to really activate that left foot. I say foot, but there's so much more. So whatever you need to do, just stay anchored. Soften what you can. Good, okay. And then we're going to release just enough so we can change hands. The left hand comes up to right knee and the right hand comes down. Draw this right knee over to the left and the heel over maybe more towards the right buttock. And then I draw it in. Okay, be here. I'm going to add that right hip. We're just kind of hiking up a little bit. I'm going to draw the right hip in. So as if I'm aiming the base of the right hip towards that, maybe the left heel. maybe just the back of your mat. So it's a lot of work. I'm working hard. One more breath. Okay, release. Come back to your pseudo shavasana. Ooh, that should feel so good. More breath. Good. Okay, let's take some hip walking. I'm going to just take the arms straight up to the sky with the arms are shoulder distance apart, palms are spread. Reach up to the sky so the shoulders lift. Take your belly in, ribs in, and now start to bring these arms over your head, but not at sacrificing the lift of the bottom ribs. So just find that. And then if they can rest over your head with the backs of the hands on the floor, go there. We'll extend the left arm and the left leg away from each other, and then you'll switch. You're just going for a little hip walk on the floor here. You can tell by the way I do my walk. So there you go. Okay, come to rest and extend it. Like extend your legs, extend your arms, take the bottom ribs in. Nice big breath. And this time I'm going to bring both knees into the chest. The arms are coming up and over. Both knees are coming in. And just rock these knees in and out. Good. Okay, we're going to keep the left knee into the chest. The right leg is going to extend or stay bent. Yes. Okay, now release your arms and put this left foot on top of your right thigh. Just like that. So wherever it goes, could be on the knee, wherever it goes. Now we're going to just rock this package side to side. So the right leg has to turn as you lift the left hip. And then you'll just go all the way over. It doesn't have to touch the floor. We're just rolling. And you're going to feel here that this rolling is going to come maybe from the right foot, maybe from the right hip. And now we're going to bring it into the left hip. So you're going to feel the left hip is what's going to lift the left side up. And the left hip is going to just bring it over. Bring it into your head. Even if it's not, you don't feel like, what is she talking about? I say it all the time, yoga is like learning a whole new language. This is the language of your body. So feel that the left hip is doing this dance. And the next time we roll over to the right side, we're going to be here. And this left foot can move onto the thigh. It could also, you could extend your left leg out. Okay, wherever you are in all these different shapes, you can use your props. I don't have a block here, but you need it, find it. Okay, now, however you are, draw this left hip away, anchor through the right leg. Left arm can come up and alongside your ear. And now you're almost like hip walking from the left hand to the right heel. And the left hip wants to play too, so it's going to press away as if it wants to almost like hug into the right thigh. Okay, and then release yourself back, pseudo shavasana, and just feel. Okay, bring your legs right together. Right knee comes in. Just hug it in. And now place sole of right foot on top of left thigh. Arms come out. Wherever you put this foot is the right place. Okay, and now you're going to start to roll. And you're just going to let that left foot turn as you move side to side. And you're just feeling, whatever's initiating this movement, take it into the right hip. Really feel like, oh, that right hip is going to do all of this. It's going to lead the way. It's going to lift up and roll. It's really, of course, not the hip. All those big muscles. Okay, just find this. I'm going to do one more on both sides. So I can really feel like this hip is doing the work. And then we'll take it all the way over to the left side. Once you get there, put your right foot wherever you need it to be. Okay, and now I'm going to press through the left leg. Take the right arm up and alongside the ear and pull this right hip. It's as if it's going down and in. Down, it's pressing down and then hugging in. Okay, hip walk with the left leg and the right arm. So like they're getting longer. You're getting as long as you can in this twist. And then release yourself all the way back. Come back to your pseudo shavasana and just feel. Good. Okay, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. We'll go hip distance apart. And you pigeon toe your feet a little bit. Okay, we've been starting with the left. Let's do that again. Bring your left knee in. Okay, we're going to keep that right leg bent. Extend this left leg up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, belly of the thigh, just like we did. Start to push this belly of the thigh into your hands. Breathe. One more breath. Okay, now because we have the right leg bent, it's going to be a little bit easier to access this action. So start to let the left leg come forward. You could even have the knee bent. Slide your hands up and alongside the back of this leg, wherever it's going to go. Push into the right foot. Let your hips lift. And then pull this left leg in. You could lift your head if you like. I'm going to bring the elbows in. Okay, now I'm going to maybe I'll lower the head down. Let the hips come back down. Release your arms. Take the left leg straight up to the sky. Okay, now with the right leg bent, stays bent. Heel toe your right foot out to the right. So you're just widening this. Okay, turn your right toes out a little bit to the right. Now you're going to open the left leg out and open the right knee towards the floor. So like the legs are moving in opposition. Good, now use your hips to bring them back and just going to cross right knee over left leg. As if you're going to cross-legged, just going to open and bring it back. And at the same time as I'm doing this and you're doing this, take the bottom ribs in, drop the shoulders, find this from the hips. You're just crossing. And the next time they cross, now fold your left, so you're going knee over knee, as if you're sitting cross-legged. And the right foot's out to the right a little bit. Okay, pause here. Good. Now with this package as it is, I'm going to swing the knees side to side. So I'll let the knees come over to the right. Maybe you'll go so slow just to kind of find it. And then the knees will drop over to the left. So they're just waving. Okay, if you want to go a little deeper, you could tuck this left foot behind the right shin. You don't have to do that. It's just another way of kind of anchoring. Now let this action happen from the hip. How can you do that? Let's see what you can find. How can you let this be from the hips? Good. Okay, we're going to let this package drop over to the right. You're going to find your twist. You can release your legs if you want to put knee on top of knee. You could stay with the cross. Whatever works, just find your twist here. And we're not going to do any action, but just, that's it. We're just receiving the space. Okay, my left shoulder's lifting up off the floor. If that's not happy for you, you can always place that left arm on your left hip. Just release that. Stretch if you don't like it. But if you like it, maybe you stretch the left arm away a little more. Good. One more breath. Okay, find your way back onto your back. Take your pseudo shavasana. Breathe and feel. How grounded are you right now? Remember at the beginning when I said feel your shoulders? They might feel a little uneven now. Just feel into that. Okay, and then we're going to bend the knees, feet to the floor. Bring your right knee in. And so the left foot is kind of in line with the left hip. And we'll extend this right leg up, opposite interlace your fingers, middle of the thigh. Push the thigh into the hands, find this extension. The upper arms draw down. Good. Okay, feel that the whole back is still on the floor. We haven't changed that yet. Okay, now start to bring this leg in closer, even if you bend the knee. Slide the hands up and alongside the back of the leg. Push the left foot into the floor so the hips lift. And then once it's in, if you want to lift your head and chest, pull it in, elbows come in. You could be anywhere here. Okay, I'm going to slowly release the hips back to the floor as I, release from this lift. So I can maybe find that place. Okay, keep this right leg extended. Open your arms out to the side. Heel toe this left foot out to the left. And then you turn the left toes out. Now as you exhale, open both legs out to their respective sides. And then cross them over. Move with your breath. You know what to do here. Now you go, okay, got this. How can I make this happen from my hips? How can I make this happen? As I say that, I notice I'm working from the foot. Okay, so, some brain gym. You just kind of find it. You'll know if you've got it because maybe you're going to feel like the hip muscles, some little muscles intrinsically happening or awakening. Okay, and now we're going to cross this right knee over the left knee. And here we are in this like asymmetrical place. And we'll just start to rock the knees side to side. So I just wrap my right foot behind the left thigh. Not the left thigh, the left shin. That's optional. Okay, just find this movement from the hips as best as you can. So the right hip is at least doing the lifting. And then we'll flow into our twist on this side. You can release the legs, make them what you need. Okay, as we drop in, again, my right shoulder's lifting. I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with that, then change it. Or maybe extend it farther away. And breathe. Good. Okay, find your way back. Let's take Pseudo Shavasana just to experience and notice maybe the two shoulders now are more balanced. Okay, stay here lying down. I'm going to separate the legs apart. My legs are extended. I'm just going to rock the toes in and out like we do. So the big toes come in towards each other and they go out. Okay, do that a few times. And now can you make this action happen from your hips? How can you do that? And you just feel, you can even take your hands and like feel your hip bones and your hip creases. You put your fingers in your hip creases and just let this action happen from the hips as best as you can. You just feel whatever this is from the hips. Okay, I'm going to do maybe 3 more. Good. Okay, and then we'll just rest into this. Feel. Good. Okay, one more big breath in. Sigh it out. Good. Okay, so you have your bolster handy. I'm going to bend the knees, lift the hips, and just put the bolster underneath the sacrum, but it could go higher. So as I put the bolster, my tailbone is kind of dropping off the bolster. If that's not happy for your back, you just move the bolster down or move yourself up. Just find a place here. And we'll take a few breaths. You could stretch your legs out if you love this. A good opening, maybe for the hip crease, whatever feels good. Just 1 or 2 more breaths. So you're settling. Good. Okay, I'm going to bend the knees, feet to the floor. You can adjust your bolster. I'm going to say there's no right or wrong here. You put it where you need it to be. I'm going to heel toe the feet, and we'll start with windshield wiper again. Okay, and you know what to do. See if you can pardon me, find the action of the hips as best as you can. For a few rounds, feel. If it's not coming from the hips, it's fine. It's just an awakening. Okay, and then we'll come to center. Okay, now I do have the, like I said, my tailbone's hanging off a little bit. Walk your feet to hip distance. And so we're gonna do cat-cow here on the floor. You could take your arms over your head if you want a little more extension. And then just moving through your cat-cow. Okay, this is, and then just feel like as you drop the hips and you lift them, not maybe the low back stays on the bolster. How can you make this action come from your hips? So you feel like maybe I could say the tush is doing the work. It's pressing down and it's lifting up. Good. Okay, let's do one more. And then just keep your legs bent, but come to rest for a moment. Arms can stay over your head or come down by your sides. Okay, from here now, we're gonna make a circle with the hips. So just start, pressing, maybe you lift the right hip, the left hip. You're just swaying your hips side to side. Even though you might stay on the bolster, you don't even feel yourself lifting. Just move your hips and then start to find a circle of the hips. The hips are gonna circle, and hopefully this bolster is helpful. You can even feel this lower back massage, and don't take it too seriously. Whatever you're doing is good work. Okay, reverse. I'm getting some very intrinsically deep back cracks from this, which is just a nice bonus. Hopefully you are. Good. Okay, and take one more circling in each direction. So just reverse and then reverse. Come to rest. And then we're going to take that left knee in. So if you need to move the bolster down or up, do that. I'm going to stretch my right leg out. And now we're here. We change this little lift in the hips. I'm going to really squeeze the hips in towards each other as if they want to hug each other. And what's that? When I get that, I can actually feel, the right leg come into its hip alignment. Really hug your hips. Breathe here. Okay, stay with the left knee, but bend the right leg. It's not bent. Set the foot on the floor. Cross this left ankle over your right knee. Open your arms out to the side. And now with this nice position of the bolster, we're going to press this left knee away, and then you'll wave it in. And I'm not using my hands. I'm just moving this knee in and out. Guess what I'm going to do next? I'm going to say, can I make this action happen from the left hip? So I'm really, concentrating. Oh, can the left hip do this work? Of course it can. So just find that. A few more so you can really feel the hips are doing the work. They're very connected, the hips. They don't really move separately as freely as the shoulders do. So you just kind of, the right hip might be moving too. Okay, come to center. And we're going to keep this cross of the ankle over the knee and start to move this side to side. And it's nice to do this on the bolster. You get a little bit of maybe an opening to the side waist. Now I'm going to do this from the hips. And it really, I feel that it changes the action for me. Generally, we'll move through the foot, or you might even be moving through your knees. So just find this from the hip. And then come to center. Realign whatever you need to realign. Okay, I'm going to bring this in for thread the needle. Because I have the bolster, it might be a hindrance and it might be a help. You can interlace your fingers behind the thigh and then just let the bolster, the lift of the bolster, allow this package to drop in wherever it's going to go. Now mine's coming in quite close to my chest, so I'm going to take my hands up and over and grab behind this right shin or right calf. And just allow, I'm not really working so hard, just allow, the support of the bolster. This opening, soften your shoulders, your jaw, wherever you are here. Breathe into this opening, wherever you feel it, maybe in the left outer thigh or the back of the thigh or even the glute. One more breath. Okay. I'm going to release, but along the way, I want to end up with my hips on the bolster, both legs up in the air. So just find that place where the legs are extended and you're almost like legs up the wall. And you can have your knees bent. And just be here for a moment. We'll press. You can see your feet. Hello, feet. So make your feet like you're balancing this baby elephant. I said this in class the other day, and then I explored it a little more. Feel this baby elephant sitting on your feet. And if he was sitting there, or she or they, how do you counterbalance that weight? So you would probably really engage your hips, the strongest part of you. You know, your core, feel like, oh, I'm balancing this baby elephant. So the feet are active to support it, but the hips are really involved. So it's almost like the flow of energy is from the heels to the hips and then back. You know, feel that. Okay, then we'll let the elephant go. You can set your feet on the floor so you can get them to touch at the exact same time. Okay, and then once you're down, we'll keep the knees bent. Let's come to just windshield wiper just to kind of move, and you can adjust yourself on your prop as you need it. And then we'll do the second side of that sequence. Okay, so I'm going to heel toe the feet, hip distance apart, left foot's going to stay on the floor. We'll bring the right knee in, tuck it in, and now cross this right ankle over your left knee. Okay, arms can be out, can be over your head if you like a little bit of more. And then just, you know, always take a few moments here just to kind of let the pose unfold. Let the body shift and create the space it needs. And now we're going to start to wave this right knee in and out. And you just do it the way you normally do it. And now start to find, oh, can I make the hip do the work? And when I really focus on the hip doing the action, things shift. So just feel for yourself, you know, maybe you feel both hips are moving. This might be getting into some deep places. And notice if you're taking tension in your hands, your face, your shoulders. So many things to think about. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to do maybe 2 more of this, really focusing on the hips. Doing this action. Good. Okay, then we'll come into the thread the needle part. So you'll bring the left thigh in, hands interlaced, let the hips lift, let the bolster support you, and then settle into whatever it is for you. So you're really just allowing, you know, the softening. I'm even just letting the outer or the backs of the glutes, backs of the thighs soften back to the bolster, even though they're lifting. And then if you feel like, oh, I want to go deeper, you take your arms over and just, you know, let the bolster help you. Okay. At the same time, you know, you could also do this, you know, this 2-part action. So as I'm holding here, I'm anchoring myself back to the bolster, even though it's not moving. And then just opening the back of the leg by flexing the foot a little bit. Breathe. Just allow yourself to drop into this so that you receive the stretch. Good. One more full breath in, maybe a sigh it out. And then again, we'll come back to the hips on the bolster, both legs extended. Okay, now you're the only one who knows what you need here. So let's all start with our hands on our thighs. Spread your fingers, maybe middle of your thighs. Start to let these legs start to come over your head. And maybe, you know, you stop anywhere. Notice if you're clenching your buttocks, let that go. Start to take them, and then you let the bolster lift the low back. Maybe it supports it. If the thighs come close to your belly, maybe you take the arms over and grab the backs of the shins. So the hands would rest at the heels, and the whole forearm is just hugging the back of the thigh. Let me say that again. Back of the hamstring. And then I'm just softening the glutes. Find your breath. One more breath. Okay, and then lovingly release however you need to do that. I'm going to take both feet to the floor. Hopefully they're going to touch at the same time. And then we'll breathe here. Okay, widen your feet. Come back to just windshield wiper side to side, however you want to do it. Hips, feet, knees, all good. Good. Okay. And then we'll bring it to center. You're going to lift your hips. We're going to push the bolster down so that it's just between your hips and your heels. And then the whole back is on the floor. Let's put the feet on the bolster. Widen your feet so one foot is at one end, one foot's at the other end. Let the knees come together. If you need to push your bolster farther away, do that. I'm just resting my hands on my tummy. Just breathe here. Get one more full breath. Side out. Okay, separate your knees. Place your feet on the floor so the bolster's between your hips and your heels. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, and they can move farther away from you if you need that. Hopefully the knees are supported with the bolster, and if that's not happening for you, then find some better props. Okay, soles of the feet are towards each other. If they're not touching, a-okay. Okay, so just as you are in this Baddha Konasana shape, I'm going to just let the feet be relaxed, knees relaxed, and we're going to hip walk the hips. So I have my hands up just to mimic the hips. So the left hip's moving down, and then the right hip will move as if they're going for a walk. You just feel your staying alive vibe. You know, it's got your funky little walk here. We'll just do that a few times, and then we'll come to Baddha Konasana, rest for a few moments. So let your arms rest on the floor. Just let everything receive this nice opening in the pelvis and the hips. Okay, one more breath in, breathe out. So hopefully you're taking the time, you're comfortable. I'm going to keep the right leg exactly where it is. The left hip is going to lift this left knee up and take it all the way over to the right knee. The hip is lifting. I'm going to take this left knee up, maybe towards the chest, and then extend the leg out. So we've almost come to like this twist. Hopefully your right leg is supported. If it's not, just take a moment to readjust. Okay, now I've straightened my left leg. I'm going to flex through the foot. Yours could be bent. And I'm going to push this left leg away, let the hip lift. Now I'm just going to pull it back a few times. So I'm just moving the hip. You're just flossing. So just extending and bringing it back. And then come on back. Find your way back onto your back, into your Baddha Konasana. Readjust anything you need. 3 breaths. Just doing nothing, yet everything. Okay, now the left leg stays where it is, using that right hip. Lift the right knee, take it all the way over. Find your twist and then hop that right knee up a little bit. Put the right foot on the floor or whatever you need to do. I'm going to press out through that right leg. The foot is flexed. And I'm just going to move the hip a couple times. Oh, I just got another back crack. Like a chiropractic adjustment, you guys. Okay, just move this back and forth a few times, just flossing. Your leg could not even be on the floor. Okay, and then make your way back, Pseudo Shavasana. But maybe you're still in Baddha Konasana, and just breathe. And one more breath. Okay, we're going to put the feet on the floor, but you're going to do that from your hips. Feel that the hips are lifting, and they're going to bring that back. Now put your feet on the bolster, and you can feel free to move the bolster away. We're going to come to a little bridge with the bolster. So you can just move the bolster back a little bit. Maybe you have the middle of your foot on the edge of the bolster, or you could be right on top of the bolster. So my heels are kind of angled more towards the floor, center of the foot on the edge of the bolster. And take the arms down, maybe right by your sides or a little bit away. Anchor the upper arms, anchor your bottom ribs. And then inhale. Now as you exhale, start to lift the hips and feel that the hips are doing the action. Okay, they don't need to come up super high. You know, we have this bolster, maybe they're just gonna go a little bit. You know, pull your tail towards your knees. And then exhale, lower down from top to bottom as best as you can, almost like, you know, there's a little bit of spinal movement from almost a baby cat-cow. Okay, so now you know what we're gonna do. Readjust your bolster if that's not a good thing for you. Make it a little bit away, and then anchor the upper arms. And then as you exhale, start to lift the hips. I'm gonna take my arms over my head, and we're just gonna flow through this. So lifting and lowering, feel the hips are doing the work. You go wherever you can. And the nice, you know, the bolster underneath the feet is just to give us a little bit more space. Feel whatever it is. I'm going to do 2 more. Letting the hips do the work. Just focus on that. Can I let the hips do the work? Okay, the next time you come all the way down, I'm just going to leave the bolster where it is, stretch the legs out. Okay, now you're going to feel where the bolster is. I want the bolster to go belly of the thigh. So maybe you have to move it up or down. Just find that the center, the back of your thigh is supported by the bolster. You're going to flex through your feet, reach your arms, and now anchor the backs of the thighs into the bolster. And as you do that, you might find, oh, my heels are lifting off the floor. Oh, my back is lifting off the floor. Whatever it is you're feeling, be with that. Keep pressing the backs of the thighs into the bolster. And now release. Let everything drop. Your arms can be by your side or wherever they are. Let them soften. Okay. Bring your legs as if you're standing on them. Heels on the floor. If they want to lift, that's up to you. I'm going to bring the left knee in. Interlace the fingers. Now we're just going to go back to the beginning, just this rocking in and out. Press through the right heel. Okay, now rest this left shin wherever it's going to go, or left thigh. Drop your shoulders. Press that right thigh into the bolster. So much you might feel, you know, that the shin lifts, the ankle lifts, the foot lifts up off the floor. Push out from the hip. And feel that that is, you know, it's all there. The bolster is, I'm really pressing into the bolster. The hip is extending. You know, smile and breathe. And then release, come to your pseudo shavasana. Okay, before I do the second side, I'm going to rock the toes in and out from the hips. Good. And then we'll do the second side. So adjust your legs. Right knee comes in, change the interlace. And then once you've kind of established where this right thigh wants to go, make it about the left leg. Push the belly of the thigh into the bolster. Whatever else is happening in that left leg, feel it so strong. You know, I'm anchored into the bolster. I'm extending through the front of the hip. The foot is flexed. The heel is active. One more breath. Okay, release. Just come to pseudo shavasana for a moment. Maybe it's a windshield wiper or move your toes in and out. Good. Okay, now I'm going to just I bent my knees. I'm just going to move the bolster down a little bit more. So now it's underneath more of the calf and the back of the knee. So it's more upper calf, not lower calf. And then feel that hopefully this is nice for your back. And if it's not nice for your back, then play with where you have the bolster. So you might move it down a little bit, just so that if you feel the top half of your calf is supported, that creates a nice place for the back to rest. Okay, so no more pseudo shavasana. We're in shavasana. If you need a moment to, you know, grab your heating pad, your blankets, whatever you need, we're just going to create a cradle for the head. So you do what you got to do, and then have a blanket under your head if you didn't put one there. Now I'm just going to take my hands and find the far corners of the top of the blanket, roll them inwards. So it creates almost a triangle shape. And then I just kind of mold it to support the head and the shoulders, maybe the back of the neck. So you've got this nice little lift. So you just kind of press it in, maybe around the tops of the shoulders. Head is supported. Okay, I'm just going to do that again if you didn't catch it. So if you want to watch, you can here. I'll just take those ends and roll them in. Create a nice support. And then release. And as you start to rest into your Shavasana, just feeling the energy of the, your sacral region, your sacral chakra, the sacrum, and everything below has had a nice release. Breathe into your energy and your support beneath you. Rest well. Release yourself more deeply this moment. The shoulders, the back of your head, the sides of your neck. Okay, so you're welcome to stay. I'm just going to take my hands, rub the palms together, just generate some heat. I'm going to rest these hands on the outer hips, maybe the hip creases. And just feel here, you can massage a little bit if you like. Just getting to know this part of your anatomy that's you rely on so much. Good. And then from here, if you feel like, initiating the rest of your movements, rolling your ankles, your wrists, your fingers, whatever feels good. You can stretch your arms over your head. And then bending your knees and resting with the feet on the bolster, maybe heels on the bolster, feet on the tops of the feet on the bolster for a moment or two. And if you wish to hug your knees into your chest, go there for a few moments. I'm going to stay here for about 5 breaths and just let the back melt to the floor a little bit more. And then rolling to your side when you're ready, and you might just straighten out your blanket so it's more comfortable. And then rest here for at least 3 breaths. And there is this magic point where the body's like, oh yeah, I still want to be resting, and all of a sudden it gets a little heavier. And that's the place where we can bring the chest more to the floor and walk yourself upright with your hands. And then just come to sit for a few moments. And I'm going to be sitting in Virasana. But you sit however you like. And then just feel into your your energies. And that, oh, beautiful. Just take a few moments here. You know, as I come upright, I'm like, oh, I just want a little forward fold. I'm just going to take my hands forward and find a little forward fold. That's up to you, whatever you choose to do. And then we'll just meet in our upright place, just as we started, with the palms up, lifting your heart, feeling that really, you know, maybe you feel very grounded from the waist down. We'll create more space for the heart to lift. And inhale as you are, lengthen tall. As you exhale, bring these hands together in front of your heart, bow to what is. And then bow to your magical hour of illuminating self-care. As you inhale, lengthen. Exhale this breath, and we'll seal this practice with our May We Be Blessed mantra and one Om. Inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy, and may we be happy. Inhale. Breathe into your hands. Pause here. Put what you need. What do you need? Put it there. And then lift your chin. Offer this to yourself deeply. And then we'll offer it way out beyond the borders of this little room space that we're in. And then you get to take it all back. Yes. So thank you for your presence and your good energies. Thank you for your practice. From my heart. Namaste, friends. See you very soon. Thank you all for being here. Capital B, capital E. See you soon. Yay.